Alright guys, it's Joe the 50 something Dasher with the second video that I'm going to be posting to this channel. This video is on my background, mainly in two parts. I want to talk about my jobs and education and all of that background leading up to how I got into DoorDash driving, and also from the social media and content creation and all of the background I have regarding those things. And first of all, when you first opened up this video, you saw the background and you're like looking and around like, okay, so what is the deal with all the Wonder Woman objects, Wonder Woman collection around him? What's the deal? Well, that actually started right as COVID was starting, actually. So how the whole Wonder Woman collection came about was over to my wife's place, and well, we were just dating at the time. And like I said, this was right at the very beginning of COVID. And so she wanted to like mess with me, basically. She was like, hey, I just got some Wonder Woman pattern, and if you want, I can make you a Wonder Woman mask to wear. And I was like, well, no, why? I mean, why would I want to wear something like that? And then she just keeps like ribbing on me and messing with me, picking on me. She's like, what are you afraid? Or are you afraid of what people are going to say? You chicken or something? And it's kind of like poking at me. And so that went on for like a couple minutes. And then probably about like 10, 15 minutes later, I thought of something and I turned the tables on her. I was like, I come up to her and I said, well, I did think of something. If you can make me a mask with a mask that has me on it along with like side by side with Linda Carter as Wonder Woman. Well, that's a mask that I'll wear because and hey, I don't hide the fact that I love me some Linda Carter. I mean, who doesn't love Linda Carter? And then so now, like I said, the tables are switched here, and now I'm the one messing with her, and she's getting all jealous and everything because I'm in love with Linda Carter. Yada yada. It's kind of funny. Anyway, fast forward about it's probably about a couple weeks after that, I come to visit her again, and like I walk in, I go like the kitchen area, and on the table is this mask that she had somebody that she works with custom make. that's that's my face like photoshopped over Steve Trevor's face. Kind of like a promotional photo from the classic 70s show. I mean, how cool. And this is I got this, and then I've got a duplicate one also. But these are the masks that I wore through, most of COVID, and the mandatory mask wearing was this right here. And then, that kind of led to an interest in the old TV show, so I bought the DVD collection. And long story short, it just kind of then I became more and more kind of like re-interested in Wonder Woman, and my wife too, even though she won't admit it, but she likes Wonder Woman too. And then it slowly turned into kind of like a collection. And you see these items back here. We have some other, items on the opposite wall. Got some comics over here, some Pez dispensers, stickers, coloring books. I mean, basically anytime we're out and about and we see something, and also like antique malls, and that's just kind of like a fun, interesting thing to, if we're in an antique mall, to kind of walk around and see if anybody has anything Wonder Woman related. So anyway, that's the whole story with that. Um, this is the room I shoot my journal videos in. So I probably won't shoot too many of my DoorDash videos in this room. I like to keep videos that I shoot here on this iMac. I kind of like to keep that separate from the DoorDash videos, but maybe at some point if I do live videos, interactive videos where I'm chatting with people joining in on the channel, um, might do those videos like on this in this room. We'll see. I apologize for the cuts in the video. And this is going to be kind of like pieced together. I apologize for that. The reason for that is I have a chronic cough and it gets aggravated when I talk. So it's like, yikes, and he wants to do a YouTube channel, but it is what it is, and I still want to do the YouTube channel and have fun with this and provide information and the whole 9 yards. I still want to do that despite the stupid coughing problem, so I'm not going to let that hinder me. um, Okay, so anyway, so as far as my kind of like my well, let me first start with I was born and raised here in the Columbus area. I've spent most of my life here, with the exception of 6 years. I spent 4 years in Kansas, 1 year in Missouri, and most recently in 2016 into 2017, I spent about 15 months in Tampa, Florida. Outside of those time periods, it's all been Central Ohio. Okay, so as far as jobs background, my very first job, high school into college, I worked in a retail store, and then graduated in 1991 from high school, went to college for 2 years and left college. Then I did next couple years. I kind of did a couple, tried out a couple different things. Like at one point, I was very short time. I was a truck driver over the road, um, and for about a year, I did security work with a security company, believe it or not, and a couple other things. Just trying to find my way and what I wanted to do, and I just kind of like I've I've got in my notes here around 1995, it might have been 1996 range. I kind of fell into warehousing and logistics. And so from about, like I said, 95, 96, clear until the present, that's basically what I'm a warehouse worker. Okay, so, nothing glamorous, blue collar warehouse worker. My W 2, the employer I work for, I have worked for them for a combined. It's been about 24 years. I have to kind of add it up because I worked for them for close to 18 years, and then I quit, was out a couple years. That's the Tampa, Florida period, and then I came back in 2017. Um, Now, speaking of 2017, I actually have delivery driving experience before DoorDash. So this would have been the last, probably, or I want to say the fall, maybe late summer, fall of 2017. I got into Uber Eats driving, and I enjoyed it. I did it, like I said, I did it for a couple months. I enjoyed the work. At the time, there was a couple problems with it though. I did not make at that time anywhere close to the money I'm making now with DoorDash. I remember that I want to say my best day was maybe like and working 6 or 8 hours and making like $75. I mean, it was just the pay was just next to nothing. And that, I mean, that's my recollection anyway. I don't know if I can go back and find the exact numbers, but I don't ever remember $100 day. And the other problem I had back at that time, and I'm sure, of course, it's been 6 years, coming up on 6 years now, so I'm sure Uber Eats has changed a lot. I mean, it's had to have. Um, but another one of my problems is like I'd start out in this area, Southwest Columbus, and then I'd get an order like going to here. And then I'd get an order from that area going to here. And then I'd be like central, uh, like downtown Columbus area. Then I get an order here and then here and there. And then after about 5 or 6 or 7 orders, I'd be clear like 45 minutes away from home on the clear opposite end of town. And so that's the thing. So then fast forward to when I got on DoorDash and they have the zones and they expect you to kind of like return back to your zone for the most part, to get more orders. That was a big, what's the words I'm looking for? A very welcome change than what I had been previously used to years ago with Uber Eats. Um, and okay, so my W two, I mentioned, warehouse worker, and uh, during COVID, like 2021 was great for a lot of people struggled during COVID. Some people might have got laid off or lost their jobs or things changed like in a really bad way for a lot of people. I was in the line of work that thrived, and I was getting consistent like massive overtime, and so things were great from the start of COVID, the first couple years. I'm sorry, let me back up just to finish. I forgot something. The Uber Eats. The reason I got out of that was because I kind of at the time I kind of got into something else. I got into buying and selling things that I picked up from auctions. There was a certain like online auction house, and I somehow stumbled into that, and I was doing that for a few months, and then overtime kicked up with my W-2. That kind of ended all the delivery driving at that time. But like I said, 2020, 2021 was great. And then things nosedived last year. And there's between, things getting back to normal after COVID, and then a couple other circumstances happening with where I work, and the hours just went down the tubes. And so I was, just trying to do the best I could. And I really wish I would have thought of something like DoorDash and like towards the beginning of 2022, but I didn't think of it until the end of the year. Um, I had tried to get a couple other part-time second jobs, but with my schedule at the W-2, it's really hard with my W-2 schedule. I work Saturday, Sunday, Mondays. So it's really hard to try to find something that's Tuesday through Friday. And even if you apply for part-time positions, I just this is like a whole separate video. I could go on a rant about this, but I never understood why even for part-time positions employers want potential workers to have 24/7 availability. I just, that blows my mind, but that's just the way it is. Um, so I came close with a second job or two, and nothing really panned out. And then I decided to try out DoorDash. Um, I mentioned in the first video, my wife kind of gave me a hard time. She was like, "Well, you know, you're just going to try that out, and it's, you know, it's probably not going to work. You're gonna get frustrated and probably give that up after like 20 or 30 orders." And but I signed up. I was able to get on. I must have tried to get on there at a really good time when drivers were needed, like in the wintertime. And it didn't take me long to kind of, you know, take off and move up through the ranks with DoorDash. Um, so I started December 14th, 22, this past December. And so I've got a couple dates here. So March 1st was when I became a top dasher. Now, that's only because I was confused as to how, you know, I thought everything was based on a rolling month. So I hit, let's see, March 1st I got, so it was, I think, I want to say February 2nd or February 3rd, I reached my 200 orders, lifetime orders, and I met all the other criteria. So as soon as I was all geared up to hit that 200th order, that first milestone, and I was all excited and everything. And I was a little bit concerned because I was expecting maybe real actual like fireworks to shoot out of my phone and for my hand to get blown off, or because it's such a big deal, you know, 200 orders and top dasher. I was worried about my hand getting like fried off, you know, because of the fireworks coming out of my phone. And then so I closed out, I completed that 200th order, logged off of my dash, and I'm standing there waiting for the fireworks or whatever, email, phone call, you know, text message, something, and just absolutely nothing happens. And nothing happens that day, nothing happens the next day, or you know, and I had to spend a day or two researching to find out that it's all based on calendar month. And had I, crap, if I had known that, I could have easily gotten the 200th order in January to be a top dasher February 1st. Had I had known that. But whatever. I did, you know, so that's that story. You know, let's move on here. And then another important date here was May 9th, was when I got on the large order program. And that'll be a whole separate video. So I'll shoot a whole video about what led up to, like, how I got on the large order program, and kind of like how many orders, what kinds of orders I see on that, how often I get them. All my thoughts on the large order program will be another video upcoming here, you know, shortly. Priority access on shopping. I tried to look just before starting this video. I couldn't see the first email. Maybe I didn't save it, but the first email where I was told that I was going to be prioritized on shopping orders. But so whenever that was, that was probably after large order. I'm thinking maybe later in May, early June. I'm not really sure. Now, as I wanted to talk about my social media / content creation background. This may be a brand new channel, 50 something dasher, but I am by no means a stranger to social media slash content creation. So I've been doing this a very long time and way, 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 way longer than most of the gig tubers that you'll find on YouTube. So no stranger to this. So in fact, first thing in my notes for this is I've been doing social media before there was even social media. So for me, you have to go clear back to 1990. So that's when I started with reaching out to people. So as you can see, my favorite band, my favorite music group of all time is surprise, Accept. And that's why I wore the gear for this video. But so I became an Accept fan in 1987, and in approximately 1990 is when I started collecting things, like collecting merchandise from the band. Of course, obviously collecting all their albums. I went back and bought the whole back catalog up to that point. And so one of the ways I did that was I went to like music stores or places that sold magazines, and I would buy various different magazines. And back at that time, people who collected music or different collectors, things like that, would place personal ads in magazines to kind of connect, reach out to each other. So that's how my collection kind of like got off the ground. I responded to people's ads that were selling things, or and also like bootleggers, people that traded unofficial live concert recordings. I got in content, or I got in contact, I should say, with various different people who traded live recordings, and I actually developed a couple different like pen pals from this. So of course, I was in this area, and there was people from like one guy that I was in contact with that lived in the Cleveland area, somebody else like in Philadelphia, and a couple other people from various different parts of the country. We would correspond by postal letters and like old style pen pal, and we would trade shows, and like I said, that's how I collected merchandise. So that went on for a few years, except ended up kind of like reuniting in 1993. They put out some albums and toured and stuff 93 to 96. Then in starting in 1997, I created a website for Accept. And so and it started out kind of small. It was just like an unofficial fan page, and the website kind of grew and grew and grew and grew and grew to something like huge. And that I had online from 1997 to 2007, so 10 years I ran the website. And in fact, at one time in 2005, so they broke up in 96, got back together in 2005 just for the summertime to do some summer festivals in Europe. And they used my website as kind of like the unofficial, or the almost like the official website for the band for that summer. So if anybody wanted to check out the tour dates, news, whatever was going on with the band for that summer, my website was the place to go. And of course, well, and then I shut it down in 2007 for various reasons at the time. The kind of like people coming to the site was dwindling down. After 2005, the band kind of like called things off again, and various other different reasons, I closed the website down. Now it's actually, you actually still can find it, even though I shut it down all those years ago. If you go to an internet archive, and I forget the exact address of the archive, but anyway, you could get on there, and the website is still viewable on the archive or time machine or whatever you want to call it. Um, then, in a couple years after that, in 2009, they decided to get back together again, this time with a new singer. And this time around, management reached out to me and about my interest in getting involved again. And this time I decided to come back, but not with the full website, but just with the message forum part of the website. So a lot of you watching this might not know what I'm talking about here, but we're going back way before Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, way before any of this stuff, back in the late 90s through the mid 2000s. There used to be message forums where, and that was kind of like a primary way that people communicated. And so you'd go to a forum and it'd have different boards within the forum that you go to, and then within each board would be like different topics, and then you go into one and then people post within that topic. um, kind of sort of like Facebook, only more like older school and a little bit more like organized by categories and topics than what Facebook is today. So anyway, I ran that from 2009 to 2017, and then I shut that down. And basically, it was like, when I shut it down, it was basically like a ghost town. I mean, Facebook and what we know of as social media today, all of that in this '09 to 2017 was that, all of that was slowly like taking over the landscape. And that's where people was wanting to go and utilize those type of outlets, and message forums was kind of like a thing of the past. Nobody wanted to, be a member of a message forum and post in one of those archaic things. Is all about Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. So the forum kind of died off, sadly. And I got in my notes here, I've even got, and they're still online on YouTube. I posted a couple YouTube videos related to the website. One of them was posted in 2012, I believe. Like I said, it's still on YouTube somewhere, and it's the band at the time was trying to do this project with where they wanted all the fans to submit things, like either submit memorabilia or submit stories, or and they were going to combine all these fan submissions and release a book or something. But it never happened. So there's a video for that, and then in 2016, I did a video trying to maybe increase members, a last ditch effort to increase membership at the message forum. And it was kind of like a how to video of how to sign up, how to use the forum, because people were so used to Facebook and all that kind of thing. And those videos bombed. They are probably, even still today, all these years later, for the lifetime of those videos, you're probably talking a combined like 400 or 500 views. So they bombed. Now, and then also along with the content creation, And you kind of notice I have no problems like doing videos like this and speaking into a camera and all this type of thing. And that's because I've done journaling for about uh, over half of my adult life. My first written journal was like around senior year in high school. And I've been journaling ever since. Although there was a couple like long periods of time, in fact, one 10-year stretch where I didn't journal at all. And then, but anyway, starting in 2016 down in Florida, I kind of got away from written journaling and went to video journaling, and that's what I've been doing ever since. And folks, these numbers that I totaled up, this is absolutely crazy. But okay, so this is from when I started the video journaling in 2016. These are the numbers through July 19th of this year. And of course, there's been in the last month uh, videos as well, but it's not included in these totals. But check this out: 1,938 videos totaling 917 hours, 8 minutes, and 19 seconds. That is a lot of content. So, something happens to me and who my wife, my kids, whoever gets a hold of all this journaling video content, and it's all like extremely organized. Everything, I have like a external hard drive that has everything, as well as each year is on its own like flash drive stick, so it's saved in a couple different places. And when, like I said, whenever the time comes I pass away, and whoever gets all this content, they're more than likely not going to be able to watch all of it, if they're even interested in watching it at all. um, but it's really good for me because I can, anytime I want to remember a specific event or what happened at a certain time or situation, I can easily, all I got to do is in my notes for whatever year, do a keyword search. I can find the video where I talk about that topic and pull up the video. I also put like timestamps throughout the videos, and I can go straight to a topic and, and then watch myself say whatever happened, at that particular time. It's pretty awesome. I can recall anything that I did or anything that's happened to me since 2016. Will probably do that with these some of these DoorDash videos as well. Like, say for instance, this one, in the description, I might, just like I do in my journaling, I'll put the timestamps for each little topic that I talked about in this video. So anyway, that's all I had in the notes here for this video. That's my whole kind of like, background experience, whatever, everything leading up to door dashing and starting this channel. That's the background. So I am going to close this down, and I still have to edit my ride along video from today, ride along video number 1. So I'm going to put that together, and that is it for this video.